So you mentioned specific joys. Tell us a bit about some of those that maybe have taken you by surprise, or some that are the real standouts.
I think the whole concept of inclusivity, that while we're a Christian school and passionate about being a Christian school, we have always been a place where everybody can come. And whether that's people of faith, people of other faiths, people of no faith, people from other parts of the world. When we first came here 17 and a half years ago, our two youngest were the only African children in the school. And now I wander around and there are African kids everywhere, and young people from Southeast Asia and South America and now the Middle East. That's incredibly exciting, that they see that this is a place where they can come. They can be a part of the place, that we're not exclusive, that everybody can be a Tyndalean, doesn't matter what their background is. As we've always said, that if we truly believe that every child, every person is fearfully and wonderfully made, knitted together in their mother's womb by God, then that means every child. When Jesus said, "Let the little children come to me and forbid them not," I don't think he qualified that with, "Oh, but not these kids." And so for families to be able to say to them that their children are of equal value, that their children are just as welcomed, is incredibly important to me. And I know it's been a journey for us as a staff and as a community, as we've had to adjust to the reality that 20% of our kids have a learning need or a disability. We've had to adjust because of the financial impact, but I'm very proud of my school that we've gone, no, actually, this is the right thing to do. And we've always tried to use that as our measuring stick. Whenever our executive team have grappled with stuff, it's always come back down to what's the right thing to do here, not what's the convenient thing to do. And I believe that God blesses when you do the right thing. I was reminded of that phrase in Chariots of Fire, that he will honour those who honour him. And I think that by saying that every person is fearfully and wonderfully made, every person is welcome, I think God looks at that and he goes, I'm going to bless that. And we are now sitting in an incredibly blessed place. And I believe that part of that's good management, but a lot of it has to do with God blessing something that reflects his heartbeat. Now, we're not by any means perfect. I think there's plenty of stuff that we can continue to do better, but in the end, I think we get judged on our heartbeat rather than purely our actions.
I suppose another thing that has really been a heartbeat of yours while you've been at the school has been missions. And it wasn't something we were doing when you started. So tell us a bit about that and how that's grown.
In my interview, which seems a long time ago now, they asked what I could bring to the school that was unique. And having lived overseas for almost 13 years, but also having gone to Africa as a teenager and recognising the impact that had on my life, one of the things I said was that I would love to be able to create an opportunity for young people to travel, to see other cultures, to be impacted by the rest of the world, to be challenged about how blessed we are here, and to get them involved in what Evan Almighty called acts of random kindness. That has always been something I've been very passionate about. So being able to launch mission trips way back in 2002 and to see how much they've grown. We've now taken hundreds of young people overseas, both to Kenya, Sri Lanka, Cambodia. We've also had young people travelling up to indigenous communities on Elko Island, but now also to the Gulf of Carpentaria. To see young people actively engaging in community service, to be involved in making a difference in the lives of others, that's been incredibly encouraging. To have the privilege of taking young people to Kenya has been a great joy, and to see God mess with their lives, which is what I tell them. I say, I'm not taking you to Africa for a holiday or an experience. I'm taking you so that God can actually mess with your head and challenge you about our responsibility to others around us. Jesus was pretty clear in Matthew 25 about how we engage with what he called the least of these, those who are doing it tough. Our motto has always been from James 1:27, which says the true religion is caring for the widows and orphans. So being engaged in caring for those who, through no fault of their own, are doing it a lot tougher than we are, is a great privilege. And to be able to allow young people to experience that, and hopefully they take on that value themselves, if our young people can leave here recognising that they have what I call a non-delegable responsibility to care for others around them, that would be something I could tick the box and say that's been a great accomplishment. Jesus said, love God with everything you've got, but then he said, love others with everything you've got, and love has to be in action. So I always add a little bit onto that the greatest commands are love God with everything, love others with everything, and for goodness sake, do something. The mission trips and the other stuff that we run gives the kids an opportunity to do something, and hopefully then that'll become not an experience they can tick a box off on their bucket list, but it can become a lifestyle. That just being kind and compassionate and generous to others is a good way to live.
Yeah, that's great.